Hello, friends. Here we are at the Green Couch. Um, Episode next, whatever number we're at right now, starting here in just a few seconds. Phil and I just wanted to say thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching our episode or listening to our episode if that's what you do, which would be beneficial this time because we tried some new things like having two cameras, and one of the cameras didn't work literally the entire time, and we didn't know until the end. So we were stuck with the footage from the other camera, and that's fine. That's totally fine because we're doing this for us, and it worked out because we also tried new audio with our new soundboard, and it's just super cool, super great sound, just easy to use, and we'll be able to kind of travel around a little bit and meet with people and just explore, beyond our weird studio setups and things like that we've had in the past. So it's a little more relaxed, a little more exciting, a little better quality, and we hope you enjoy. So here we go.
Are we jamming right now?
Yeah, baby.
Okay, well, what should I do? You want me to fade it down and clap?
Yeah.
Is that the thing?
I think we should do that.
Okay. Fading down.
Hey, yo.
Whoa.
Here we are.
This is kind of a cool setup. Ready?
Yep. Are you ready? I think that's going to work.
That was pretty loud.
All right. First podcast in, what are we calling this? This space.
Well, it's my man cave, but we don't have to call it that.
The 406 Dream Garage.
Well, no.
Or like nightmares, because I've had a lot of like nightmare projects
there's been
happen
a lot
in
of
this
nightmares
garage.
happening in here, but I don't know. It's just a more chill space.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's more of a chill episode.
Yeah.
So. Having to get situated here. That's all right.
And don't mind my red face because it's so hot.
It's
a little toasty in here.
It's
but
about 85 degrees.
it's all right. Feels good. Get a little sauna sesh going
Yeah.
in the garage.
By the end of this video, we might be naked.
I mean,
We
I
might
might
just take our clothes
I might just pull a Bert Kreischer and just take my shirt off.
There you go.
Dude, he does all of his stand-up comedy, well, most of his stand-up comedy at least, with a shirt off. Like that's his like signature.
That's crazy. Yeah, I've seen him scrolling through the comedy. I can see it's like that dude has his shirt off.
His fans like beg for it. Like
Yeah.
he comes out on stage and it's the first thing they like.
They're like, yeah.
They're like, shirt off, let's go.
Yeah, I've listened to a few of his episodes of Joe Rogan when he's on there.
Yeah. Those are like some of my favorite ones. Him with Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
One of the recent ones that was
He's
I was
so
laughing
crazy.
out loud because those three together are just hilarious.
Yeah. I watched one was just him, and then I watched one that was him and another guy, and that was probably it.
Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good one. He's kind of got like a little.
Or maybe it was Bill
Nasally.
Burr, the one I
Maybe,
saw. Was him and Bill Burr. But
Yeah,
these guys are just both crazy. They
You
just
know-
say whatever they want, and it's amazing.
that's definitely true. We talked about doing like an intro before this, and then we didn't even talk about it, and now look at us. We're like 5 minutes in, just didn't even have one.
That's okay. We had a little bit of an intro just because we're trying to get settled, and we had some jams going.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, should we tell them what that is? So this is from.
Yeah.
This is a new service that I was, I guess, experimenting with. It's Epidemic Sound, and this was Other Side by Hatamitsunami.
Whoa.
Hatamitsunami.
did you pronounce that correctly?
I think so, actually. Pretty good. This is giving me errors. This is our first one. Skipped frames detected 98% over the last 2 minutes. That's not good. 26% down too. Okay, so, well, we will see how this video turns out because we're using my laptop, and I don't know if that's going to.
It's a
create an
Microsoft
issue.
product.
It seems like it's fine now, so that's good.
It was just the beginning.
Yeah,
Trying to get everything.
maybe it was the music, like having Chrome going at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyways, Enough of the technical difficulties.
Dude, I'm looking at the video, what we can see, and there's a lot of leg.
A lot of man thigh going on.
A lot of leg in this video.
It was leg day today, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Jake just decided not to show up at the gym,
Of
and he was
course.
like, I'm skipping leg day. And I was like, of course you would. You would. You're weak.
That's your day.
Yeah, it is my day.
Yeah.
Usually. So
He can't handle what you do.
No,
can't
he
handle it.
can't. He actually, like, the first time we did legs together with my workout, he, like, almost threw up.
Well, it's an intense thing, legs is.
Yep. These man thighs here.
I like watch some videos. I watch Fail Army all the time. Well, those are some man thighs.
The
You see
thickness.
people like that do leg day, and then they're like super wobbly and they fall over crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was me walking up the stairs to my office today. Just like,
I might make it.
Yep. It was rough.
Dude, and like this light off of my leg, I mean, I may have to put a filter here.
Nice and white.
Yeah, put the logo right down here so you can't see my leg.
Yeah.
That'd
I
be
think
awesome.
your knee looks great.
It's a handsome knee. Although I
I'd
do
touch
have
it.
more hair on my legs than Mark.
I'd touch it.
Yeah.
Do you have surgery on your knee? You got a scar there.
Yeah, I had my broken leg from 2006.
Oh, no.
Pretty crazy.
How'd you break it?
Skiing. Well, I was trying to ski. No.
Aren't we all? When we
Yeah.
go skiing, aren't we just trying?
Just trying. Yeah, there's no professionalism about it. But yeah, we were trying to film. I was up there with some of my snowboarding friends, and we were trying to film some cool jumps and tricks
Some
up in
jizzumps.
the park. And so I had the camera.
Oh.
So I'm like filming those dudes, and I'm in a spot, like in a standing spot.
Yeah.
I have what I'm wearing is not actual skis. I'm wearing snow blades. You know what a snow blade
Oh,
is?
I do know what a snow blade is. It's like
Yeah.
roller blades, but for the snow.
Yes.
Yep.
So they're about 2 feet long, or maybe a little more than that.
That seems like more like a speed skate than a roller blade.
Yeah, they don't break away. You just fall and you get back up, and you can like kind of walk with them a little bit.
That's
So
that
that's
sounds
what I
that
had.
sounds dangerous.
Dude, I was like getting used to these things. Like, I could snowblade down the entire mountain backwards.
I don't think I could. I mean, I've played hockey my whole life, so I could probably do it, but
Yeah.
that seems like I would just twist my ankle or blow out my knee.
Now you know what happened. So I mean,
Oh no.
pretty much. They went down. I put the camera in my backpack, put it on. I was just meeting them down there. I went off this like small jump that I did like at least 6 times that day already, and just got a little off kilter and went forward a little bit, and my snowblade like went in the ice, and just like, pow, and like a tenth of a second, pow, just broke my leg. So my knee stayed straight,
Yeah.
and then from here down was twisted like
Did you break both bones?
yeah,
Oh,
like 2
no.
pencils.
That's horrible. That sucks.
Yeah, like if you took 2 pieces of like wooden dowels or
And you
pencils
just twisted them around each
until
other.
they broke, that's what happened
Oh.
in like a tenth of a second.
That sounds like what I did to my ankle last hockey season. I basically touched my pinky toes to my hip, and
Ooh.
my left ankle is just trash now.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad. It's still like swollen a little bit compared to my other ankle,
Oof.
and it's been like 4 months. So probably need to go to the doctor and get that figured out. See if I broke anything.
Yeah. Well, I can show you later. We can compare like the sizes between both of my legs. Like the one that I broke is like significantly thicker
Oh really? Why?
because of scarring.
Oh, got scar tissue and all that.
yeah, and my bone is like way thicker than it used to
Hmm.
be. Yeah,
Well, that's
it's
good.
weird.
Healed stronger.
Yeah, it healed strong. I can
Is that a
pretty much-
thing? Do they heal stronger?
Yeah, and I have a titanium rod in the middle of
Oh,
it, so
definitely stronger.
I
then.
will kick someone's face.
Heck yes. Break their teeth into their mouth.
Yeah, it'll still hurt, but I will succeed.
Speaking of broken teeth, actually the Stanley Cup playoffs just ended.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of broken teeth in there.
So spoiler alert if you haven't like been on the
It was-
news at all for NHL hockey,
Avalanche.
the Avalanche put her
That's
away
amazing.
in OT.
First time in
20 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Almost, I think it's 20 years exactly.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
2002.
Pretty cool.
Yeah,
Lot of Avalanche
Sakic.
fans
So
around
Sakic was on that team that they won the cup.
Mm.
He's like the assistant coach, I think, now of the Avs.
Nice.
So he got
now he's got 2.
double cups. I think Sakic has more than one cup anyways, but, you know, So you can never have too many cups. You want to know what the first thing they did when they go to take a picture with the cup?
What?
The guy falls over and dents the absolute crap out of the bottom ring of it.
Oh,
So it
they're
was
gonna have
like
to repair it.
I think the caption was like the first dent of the Cup's tour, because it happens all the time. I guess
yeah,
it
sure.
like luckily it wasn't the actual cup. It was like there's a
don't-
black like base plate that's
Yeah.
mounted to it. That's what would bend.
Do they leave it or do they fix it?
I think they leave it for the time that it's at the Avs,
Okay.
and then as soon as the next playoffs start, I think they take it back and
yeah,
they
fix it.
fix it up and make it look nice for the next winners.
Okay, so I was just thinking in my head here. Do you think that
Is that where you think?
Yeah.
I don't think in my head.
sometimes I'm not thinking
I think in
with
my
head.
armpit. It's like really swampy and sweaty in there.
Sometimes I think with other things.
Oh wow!
But this time
I didn't know
it was
we were
with
gonna.
my
I
head.
did not know we were gonna go there.
It's
All right, give it to me
Late
straight.
night.
What were you thinking?
okay. Do you think as well that there might be, even though there's only one Stanley Cup, do you think there's maybe a backup or storage?
No,
You know, because there's one Stanley Cup, obviously.
there's one Stanley Cup.
That's how it works.
Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the only sporting.
You don't think they have a second backup just in case someone steals it
No,
or it gets destroyed in a fire?
nope.
Nothing.
That's why it's so prized.
There's no secret. Like maybe the Vatican might have.
I mean,
one.
maybe they have like a replica of it, so that if something happens, they have
That's
one.
what I'm saying. Like,
But I highly doubt
There's
it.
not,
I don't
like-
know. Any NHL experts out there want to comment down below and let us know whether
I don't know,
there's another cup?
because I mean, there's, you know, when you win the Super Bowl, the World Series, you get your own.
Get your
trophy.
own Vince Lombardi trophy. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
not that special.
There's
They
not
make
like
they
one.
make a new one every year. Like, seriously, guys, come
How
on.
many is there out there?
They just put another ring on the bottom of the Stanley Cup and then engrave every single player's names on the
Dude,
Stanley Cup.
I can't wait until I'm old and the Stanley Cup.
The Stanley
is just
Cup's
Super
taller
Bowl.
than you are. It's already. I mean, it weighs like I think it weighs over 100 pounds.
That's crazy.
It's like super heavy. I don't even want to know what
they
those
weren't
like
thinking
when they're
did that.
super tired and they're picking that thing up above their heads after 4 periods of hockey because they went into OT.
How long before the first hockey player dies from holding it up above his head?
Probably at least. I don't know. Each one of those rings holds a lot of space. Like there's a lot of room on each one of them rings. So I don't know. Maybe a couple of years. I don't know. Those
That's
guys.
a pretty short amount of
Those
time.
guys work out all the time. They could probably lift double, triple the weight that Stanley Cup is. At least I hope
I'm
they
liking
can.
it. I just think it's fascinating because like it's a cool trophy. Like
I think it's the
cooler
only-
than any trophy.
It's the only professional sports like league that only has one trophy and it changes hands every year.
Yeah, I think that is cooler than any other trophy.
Yeah, I think
because
so
of that.
too. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. My little brother he was a longtime Colorado Avalanche fan, but then when the Seattle
He
Kraken
jumped
started this year, he jumped ship. And the Kraken were terrible. Well, they weren't there. They weren't terrible, but they weren't that good.
Yeah, you know,
But-
eventually.
I'll give it to him. I mean, he had been a fan since he was a kid. So, I mean, he's
It's
been a
kinda like
fan.
his second team.
He's been a fan since they won the last one, probably.
Hmm.
And he was only, what would that make him? 5 years old? Because we were playing hockey by the time we were 4, so. And we all had favorite teams. I don't remember what my team was when I was a kid, though. I think it was the Stars. Because I went to the Dallas Stars, like training facility or something when I was a kid when we went to regionals. But I wasn't that young. I think it was like 8. So, I don't know.
You know, I grew up in Great Falls, and my favorite team was the Great Falls Americans.
Yep. I have some friends that played on the Great Falls Americans when they were of age.
Yeah, that was a cool team. I liked going to their games, but my favorite professional team, I don't know if I really had one, but there was a lot of people around me that liked the Blackhawks.
Yeah, Chicago is pretty close.
Yeah.
I guess Minnesota is close too. And then there's Denver. Now there's Seattle, which is actually pretty close to us.
Yeah.
Just across the border is Calgary.
Yeah, I like Canadian teams.
Yeah, the Canucks were my favorite team for a long time because it's Luongo. So Luongo was like my favorite goalie when I was a kid. That was just, I don't know. I always liked good goalies, and he was in his prime when I was a kid. So, and then the one, what was it? Yeah, so Sarah and I went to a Vancouver game,
Okay.
and that was the first Canucks game I was going to see. He got traded the day before.
No.
Yeah. And
That's crazy.
I didn't know until the morning of, and I was like, oh, that's horrible. I think we might have lost video here. This dang laptop, dude. Yeah, we're losing like 98% frames. This isn't good. Well, good thing we got video on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, we got a secondary camera set up over here. What up? Hopefully that's recording too.
Yeah. So you might be able to get some stuff off of this, but maybe not. I guess we'll find out. It's kind
It's
of a
hot,
bummer.
but I don't got any pit stains yet. So we good. We good.
I don't think I do either. I
Yeah.
guess the audience will tell me.
As they will. And I'm wearing my my Cincinnati 1916 hat.
How are they doing this year?
Terrible. They're back and forth being the worst team in the league with the Kansas City Royals and the Oakland Athletics.
I didn't even know those two places had teams.
Well, the Oakland Athletics they're not gonna be a team probably soon. Probably starting next year. They're going to Vegas, just like the Oakland Raiders did. I don't know if that's final yet, but they should. They
Tough-
just should.
Tough couple years for the Oakland fans.
Yeah, they've actually been on strike this year.
The fans?
Yeah, literally. They're just like
We're not going to come.
yeah. There's been games where it's like 1,500 people.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah,
That's like going to a Mustangs game.
yeah, but there's like 4,000 to 6,000 people at a Mustangs game.
Oh, really? I
Yeah.
thought there was only like 1,500. Wow. Okay. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
insane.
At a major league team in a giant stadium.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, so they've been kind of on strike.
I have a question about the MLB.
'Kay.
Wasn't there just like a bench clearing brawl
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
or dugout clearing, I guess is what they call it?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, one of my favorite players. I have a T-shirt that says DeWink on it. Jesse Winker used
Wait,
to play for the Reds.
hold on a second.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Jesse Winker.
And your shirt says
DeWink.
Da Wink. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Does he give a wink after he strikes somebody out or something?
No, that would be pretty cheesy.
Is he a pitcher? I just assumed
No,
he was
he's
a
an
pitcher.
outfielder.
Okay.
And a good hitter.
All right.
But the Reds traded him to Seattle this year. He's kind of a hothead. You know, he can get hot. But essentially, long story short, what happened is the Angels in the first game, their pitcher threw and hit one of the Seattle players in the head. And it looked like it was completely an accident, right? I mean, nobody was hot about it. The Seattle bench was just like, well, dang, that sucks. You know, the guy was okay. He got back up. He went to first base. The last game, for some reason, Seattle started throwing at Mike Trout, who's literally considered one of the best
Yeah,
players,
I've heard
if not
this.
the best player in MLB.
So he's so good that even I've heard of him, and I don't watch MLB at all. I never watch a game. I don't even know anything about baseball,
So one pitch is
and I
an
know about
accident.
Trout.
Yeah, and you don't throw a Mike Trout. I mean,
No, I
one,
would
he
assume
looks like he could just punch your face right.
I would
off.
assume you don't do that.
No.
Yeah, he is a big guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he looks like he could just punch through your face.
Just put a hole straight through your whole. Like
yeah,
he
dead.
would punch you so hard that you just have a thin like layer of skin that was the outline of your head.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, and just like a hole. Your face is like a plug.
He's huge.
So I mean, one throw at his face or up towards his head is an accident. You know, it's like, whoa, okay, a ball got away. Second pitch right after that was like inches from his head, even after dodging, and it was a fastball, so it's like 90+ miles an hour. Then it's on purpose. They knew that. They were like, what the heck's going on?
And then he
So-
hit him in the shoulder or something, didn't he?
Yeah, everyone was all pissed and like they're just yelling at each other, and so like the game kind of went on for a couple innings, and then Jesse Winker came up to bat and they just freaking drilled him.
The
Like,
wink man.
first pitch drilled him, and he's like,
Right in his shoulder blade, I think is what at least the clip I saw was some dude getting hit like right in his back.
yeah,
Because he's a lefty, right?
he's a righty.
He is a righty?
Yeah.
Maybe I saw a different clip then. Maybe it was the other person who got hit the first time.
Now I'm confused. There's only two options, left or right. I
Yeah.
can't remember which one.
50-50, boy.
Yeah. But he was like, you guys, this is obvious. on purpose. So
Intentional.
the pitcher got thrown out of the game because the umps were like, "You're out."
Get the F out of
Yeah.
here, bro.
And so, like, even during, the brawl started, but even during the brawl, like, the pitcher came up to Jesse Winker and he's like, "Hey, man, I had to throw at you." And he's like, "You didn't have to throw at me.
You don't have to
You
do
don't
any
have
of
to
that.
do any of that." Yeah.
No.
So, I don't know. Jesse Winker got all pissed because the whole bench was yelling at him. He ran over there by himself like he was going to take the whole bench on. So, of course, his dugout follows him. And
Oh, yeah.
It was one of the longest brawls, I guess.
Was it crazy to watch?
Yeah. It was
Did you
cool.
watch like a recap YouTube video of it, or were you watching live?
I saw 5 minutes ago. So I like turned it on and then they were
And
showing
it was still going or
clips and
ending?
highlights. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
So that was kind of cool. I didn't watch it live. I'm not really an Angels fan, not really a Seattle Mariners fan. So I'm a player fan. I like actually a lot of their players.
When we lived down in Orange County, we lived like 10 minutes from the Angel Stadium.
Yeah.
And we got to like tour the field and like go down in the groundskeepers locker room, which
Nice.
it's crazy. The groundskeepers have their own locker room, and it's got like couches and chairs and TVs everywhere and a
That's sweet.
bar, and like it was pretty awesome. It would be a
Legit.
pretty cush job besides the hard work you got to do on the field to make it look nice, but
Hmm.
but yeah, that was pretty cool. I guess Sarah's dad knew the head groundskeeper or something, and he took us around. We got to go in the bullpen in the back, and her dad got to throw some balls back and forth, so it was pretty cool.
Sick.
And then we got to go to a game later that day, I think. So we sat like right above the foul pole. There's the foul ball pole.
Yeah.
Like sat like right behind it, looking down.
In home run territory or foul ball territory?
Foul ball territory.
Okay. That's cool. Probably a lot more come that way.
There was a few during that
Yeah.
game.
That's cool.
So that was I think that's one of my only professional baseball experiences. My
A lot of
grandparents
people never do it. So
My grandparents live in Seattle, and we got to go to a couple Mariners games, I think, and that's the only other professional baseball I've seen at a stadium.
I've not been to the Mariners Stadium yet.
It's pretty cool. The roof like rolls across on like a train track, like it's on train tracks on the top, like
Cool.
the like train wheels and everything, and it just like rolls to the side. At least it used to. I don't know if they've torn that stadium down or if they got a new one since then, but that was a long time ago.
I'll check into it.
All right then. What's Cincinnati Stadium like?
It's really cool, actually. One of the first baseball fields ever.
What? Were they one of the original teams?
Not this stadium, but one of
gotcha.
the first baseball fields ever was for the Cincinnati Reds, and it was called Crosley Field.
Okay.
So when they built this stadium, it's called the Great American Ballpark, and it was 2003 or so. They did a lot of throwback designs to that original field.
Cool.
So it's really super open. It has a small ballpark feel.
Kind of like Dealer.
Yeah, but it still holds 40-something thousand people.
Wow, that's
So,
awesome. Was
I mean-
Cincinnati one of the original teams of the MLB?
Cincinnati was the first baseball team.
The first baseball team.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I'm getting an MLB history lesson up in here.
1869.
How many teams were there in that first season? Or was there even a season? Or did they just, what was this all about?
They were the only team for 1 year, and they played themselves.
Oh, so it's like a scrimmage.
Yeah, they were the first paid professional team, and they were getting the league together.
They're like, hey, Mom, I'm going to go play a game.
Yep.
And I'm going to get paid, but also I'm just playing against my own team. So there's no pressure.
Yeah. So
These guys.
they were called the Cincinnati Redlegs.
Redlegs.
Redlegs. Yep.
Sounds racist a little bit.
Yeah. Well, maybe there was
Just
no.
racist to people who lay
there's
out
no,
in the
like-
sun with top half of clothes on.
Yeah.
And get super
if
sunburned
there's
legs.
Red people. There was no red people.
It's
So-
it's racist to what, roosters? Do they have red legs?
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Or people that wear like really tall red socks.
maybe. Like baseball players?
Yeah. Now the Red Sox, I feel like, are just racist to people who wear red
To
socks.
roosters.
That's true.
Man, roosters, they got to get on this equality train. They got to start
They
protesting.
Do. They do.
These
Yeah,
guys.
there's lots of baseball history. I mean, this is 1916. One of the first Cincinnati Reds uniforms.
We should do a section of each podcast where you just tell me like a random little history fact about baseball so I can learn.
Well, I know I just told you one, but I'm going to tell you another one.
Oh boy,
Because
here we
we're
go.
on first baseball team
Here
talk.
we go.
The Atlanta Braves. Longest
Also
baseball
racist.
team. Yeah, what a bunch of jerks they are.
Yep.
No, longest named baseball team. Like they've kept their name the longest of
Okay.
any team. So they have the longest name tenure
Oh,
of
all
any
right.
other teams, and people are trying to get the Braves to change their name, and like they have the longest lasting baseball name in MLB history.
They have the longest lasting name, and it's the most racist name out of all of them, most
Yeah.
likely. Were there any other racist names in baseball?
The Indians.
Oh, yeah, that
They
is
just
pretty
changed
racist,
that
isn't it?
this year to the Guardians.
The Guardians.
Yeah, it's the Cleveland Guardians now.
Huh.
Dumb.
Well, less racist,
Yeah, unless
but also sounds like a superhero team.
the Cleveland Guardians.
The Guardians of the baseball galaxy.
Yeah, they don't even have like a mascot. Like they use literally a G with a baseball next to it.
That's how I feel like the Athletics would be. They just have like 2 baseball bats and a baseball, like a stock photo
Yeah,
logo. That's how I feel like their logo
there's
would
some
look.
really stupid team names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's not really many. I guess the
the
NFL,
Washington football team.
the
is pretty
NFL,
stupid.
yeah, the NFL team has to. The Washington football team doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense. Was there any? Oh, the NHL, not the NHL, but in college, the University of North Dakota, the Fighting Sioux. I think they had to change their name.
Yeah.
The crazy thing about that though is they have one of the nicest rinks in the
Mm.
country. Like it's got marble floors everywhere. It's incredible. Like if you ever get the chance to go to it, you definitely should because it is just a beautiful building
Yeah.
in general.
I would like to go to professional hockey and see like what like high level stadium,
Oh well, this stadium is much nicer than any professional stadium.
Okay.
It is like immaculate. I mean,
and
the
there
best materials possible. And one of the things that was a stipulation of the guy who was funding this project was you don't get to change the name or the logo ever.
ever.
It
Are
was
they
a
still the
stipulation.
Fighting Sioux?
They're not.
Oh wow.
But the guy's dead, and he can't really say anything about it, I'm pretty sure. So
What are they now? The Peaceful Sioux?
I actually don't know. I haven't looked at it, but
I
I'm pretty
didn't-
sure they did have to change their name.
What was offensive, the fighting part or the Sioux part?
Well, I think they just didn't get approval for the name,
Yeah.
and I think they even asked if it was a problem, and they said no, but
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
there are
with
people
the
out there.
Cleveland Indians too. Honestly, like I think the most of the people that were fighting
I mean,
against
Washington's
the name were probably white people.
the NFL team, that name was pretty racist. I mean, let's be real.
What?
The Redskins,
Oh, the Redskins.
that's pretty horrible.
Yeah, the Washington Redskins. I can see that one. It's like,
And it's our nation's capital.
yeah, that's just stupid. I mean, there's some things you just got to change. Like, that makes no sense. It would be literally the same as like having a team called like the Blackskins.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't do that.
Or the yellow skins, or the
Yeah.
white skins.
Yeah,
It's the same. It's all the
it's
same.
so stupid.
I
The
mean,
Redskins. Yeah, that's dumb.
ugh, so dumb. The Flathead High School, I think they
Yeah.
were the Braves.
Yeah.
I think they had to change their name too because Sarah graduated from there, and I think they were trying to change the name when she was going to school there. So I'm sure they've changed it since then.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I don't know enough history of like what the name means, but I feel like that's kind of a cool name.
Absolutely, but
Like, if
maybe
you-
it symbolizes being brave against the white settlers. So maybe that's a
Maybe
problem.
it's the white people that are offended.
Maybe
I
it's
think
the
it's
white
cool.
people that want to change the name.
I think, but maybe I don't. I'm
The
just
Karens,
ignorant
the
and I don't
Karens
know
of the
any
world.
history
We're
about.
we are probably just being really ignorant right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, that's fine. I mean, because I am ignorant about it.
Maybe we should learn about it and come back with.
Yeah.
Maybe that's our homework for the next one.
Why is Braves not a cool sounding thing?
We
I'm gonna
can
find
maybe tell the man who shall not be named D about maybe some history, baseball history, and names and why they were racist.
Yeah, for sure. We'll inform. We're gonna teach that dude.
Yeah, we are. He's gonna know more about racist names in sports than he'd ever wanted to, and so are you guys.
So are you. Oh yeah, I got it. Sometimes I gotta look over here like, sup.
So those of you who are just listening, we are just like making weird faces and gestures towards the cameras.
Yeah, because this is the first time I was trying 2 cameras at once.
Yeah, and so far it's not going so good with the old webcam and the computer.
Well, yeah, it's also our first time running the webcam off of a laptop.
That's true.
So
Yeah, now we know it's a problem.
yeah, I mean, you're not gonna know unless you try it.
Yeah, so it looks like we need to get 2 phones.
Yeah,
One for the
I mean, it's 2022. Some of these phones are like, I mean, is that webcam really better than?
No, absolutely not.
No.
No way. Like, you had to dumb that camera down to get to this one's level.
Yeah, I was like, I could record in
I
4K,
think-
but we're like, this one can't handle that.
I think it can. I think this one can record in 4K, but it's the amount of data that comes out of it that it's just like
It's
not.
obnoxious. You don't need a. What do you guys want 4K of us?
Yeah, exactly.
Now, next week 480. Get ready.
Yeah, we're gonna do 720p, then we're gonna do 480p, then we're gonna do 160p.
And you guys tell us which one
And
looks
you just
the worst
vote.
and best.
We'll just be like pixel art at the end.
Yeah, just my mom comments. That's
I don't even think we get that.
yeah. I'll have to remind her.
All right, I'll remind my mom to watch it
Yeah,
while she's driving, so maybe she'll crash.
yeah. I mean, now that
I wouldn't want
Spotify
that,
can
Mom.
have video, just put it on your dash and watch.
Yeah, and then just turn your Tesla autopilot on because everybody has it now. Oh,
Yeah,
Segway.
Yeah, I agree.
EVs are extremely expensive now.
I thought they were supposed to be cheap, Phil.
Well, Tesla was like, we're going to come out with a $35,000 vehicle, and then like did it for like 2 days, and then they're like, yeah, no, we can't afford that.
Wow. Because the rockets cost too much, or
Well, those two companies are separate, but he did call both of his gigafactories money furnaces the other day.
okay, well that
Like billions of dollars just wasted because they're trying to increase efficiency in their production line right now, and they're not producing cars. And he said they're just burning money.
Huh.
He also said that all of his remote employees have to come work from the office now, and they don't have enough desks for the amount of employees they have.
holy crap.
And they started
would
laying
do that?
they started laying people off too. That because
What's
he-
the point of making your remote employees come in if
He
they're doing
has-
the same job?
he has the old school view, like most people do in the professional executive type world,
Yeah.
that you need to be at the place of your employment while you're working, no matter what. It just you are more effective, you're more productive, yada 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 yada. And I think there's an argument for both sides. Like, I agree in some aspects. Yeah, some people, depending on their job description and what they do, need to be in the office. But for most jobs that require just a computer and you to talk to your teammates,
Skill level and computer.
teams, computers, that's all you need. And
Yeah.
that's all you're doing at work. And at work, you're less efficient because you're talking to people. And the same argument could be made for home. I have a family. I have a child. She could be distracting me,
Sure.
So I don't know. There's an argument for both sides, and I can see both sides, but I would much rather work from home, but not an option for me either. So
Yeah.
Well, it could be in the future. We'll see.
For a little bit you were.
Yeah.
You did a different job though.
Yeah, year and a half with a different company, but I liked it. It was good, but I always felt like I never got out of my house. Like, now I have to go somewhere every day. Then I can run my errands afterwards.
Yeah.
Living out a little bit farther too, it kind of helps because it gets me into town, and I feel like I would just become like a recluse.
Yeah.
I would just be one of those spiders crawling around.
Ooh, those are scary.
Yep. Oh, talking about freaking EVs
Yeah,
and how
back to
expensive
EVs if
they
you
how
want.
expensive they are. I guess is
Sure,
where we
sure.
started. I think they've increased by at least $15,000 in base price over the last year or year and a half.
Hmm.
That's insane.
That's a
15
big-
grand. I guess what's 7% of, I can't do the math in my head, so we're going to pull out our trusty little calculator here and do 7% of what was the base price? Let's do 35 grand.
Yeah, that's
$2,450. That's all it should have increased, not 15 grand.
Oof.
So the big drivers for those are just materials. The demand is too high because there's so many different companies trying to get in the space, and it's driving the costs up, which is basic economics.
I am a pretty average intelligence person, and I
Me
kind of
too.
saw that coming.
Me too.
So
I mean, yeah, the writing was on the wall, especially when
yeah,
Tesla was like, yeah, you can get a car for 35 grand. And then like a month later, their site changed and the price went up by like 5 grand.
yeah. That's just crazy. I don't know.
Well, and it was
All these goals of like trying to be electric by so much time. Like, I think it's cool.
Well, and that's the other thing. All of it's federally subsidized. So it's like eventually the subsidy is going to go away and the cost has to be bucked to the customer because they can't afford it. There's the companies that are making the cars can't afford it. So something had to give, and it was the auto manufacturers raising their prices.
I don't know. Them gas guzzlers are not looking good either.
Yeah, that's true. I watched Marcus Brownlee's last video, the one about the F-150 Lightning. His like auto reviews, his car reviews are actually decent.
Yeah.
I mean, not as in depth as Doug DeMuro, obviously, but
I don't think anybody.
I don't think anybody could get that intense about cars.
Nobody's like that guy.
But as far as like a tech car YouTuber reviewer person, that was an incredible video, and the F-150 seems pretty freaking awesome.
Dude, the Lightning has been pretty impressive to me.
So I just got solar installed in my house, and I have a 3 kilowatt hour battery, like 3.2 or something like that. This truck has like 130 or 140 kilowatt hour battery. I don't know. I have to look it up to be specific, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So you plug that truck into my house.
Yeah.
That 3 kilowatt hour battery lasts the entire evening from like when the sun goes down around like to the point where my solar panels can't generate, like 6:30 or 7 p.m. till like 11 at night. That's just 3 kilowatt hours. So imagine 140 kilowatt hours. You're running my house for like 3-4 days maybe. That's insane.
That is cool.
And then obviously you're going to charge it, but with your house power. But I mean, you're talking, I think it's 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So 11 cents times 140. What does that come out to? Let's look. And you can go 400 miles or 300 miles on it. Times 140. $15.4.
Mm-hmm.
So that is like
pretty cheap.
That is 15% of my gas bill to go 400 miles.
Yeah.
And I don't even think my truck goes, I don't think it actually gets to 400 miles. I think it's like 350. So like that cost comparison makes it worth it super quick. We got to wake this baby up.
Wake it up.
I think when it locks like that, it loses frames. Sorry, technical difficulties.
That's all right.
I think we're going to have to scrap that video probably, but we'll just look over there and be like, oh.
I've got some cool technical difficulty things I can pop up on the screen. They can just be the most annoying video
You should just play that
on YouTube.
Play that bit when I was just like, oh. Every time there's a technical difficulty.
Oh, yeah. You can make your own technical difficulty sound.
Yeah. There's a bunch of soundboard sounds that we can be playing too. We got to record some so that we can use them.
We're actually going to fill those sections with videos of us dancing around with our shirts off.
Oh. I don't know if I'm okay with that. I go to the gym and I don't know if I'm okay with that.
Do I have your consent?
No.
Dang it.
I do not consent. We are not consenting
We'll
adults.
convince him.
No.
Yes, we will.
Nope. All right, I'm leaving. Mic drop. Just kidding. I'll break the
I don't even want to see that.
break the microphone. What else do we want to talk about today? Oh, crypto.
Yeah. I wanted you to tell me because
All right.
I had a question.
What was your question?
This last week we were talking about crypto, and I was like, dude, Phil, I've been watching crypto. I've got a little bit of money invested in crypto.
I hope not a lot.
But it's not a lot. And so I'm not too worried. But at the same time, like, I thought it was a good time to start doing some stuff.
I
And then
thought
all
it
of a
was
sudden
too.
was like,
I thought it was too. But
so
then,
tell me what's going on.
so, I mean, obviously the stock market's not doing well either. And
Yeah.
crypto is basically a big stock market as well. I mean, it's
Sure.
not that big of a stock market. The total, like, actual, like, U.S. currency equivalent of the entire crypto market is less than the valuation of Apple as a company.
Oh, okay.
So $3 trillion or $2 trillion or something like that.
Sure.
So there's really not that much money in it to begin with, but we're seeing that it follows trends of the stock market as well. So it has like macroeconomics affects it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got inflation in the U.S., which means the dollar is not worth as much, meaning the cost of everything or the worth of everything is going to start to go down in anything. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Or I guess, yeah, your dollar's worth less, right?
Yeah.
So same thing with crypto. They had what are called stable coins that follow a certain currency.
Are you talking about like maybe Bitcoin and Ethereum?
No,
those
so
stable coins?
stable coins are actually different. So what a stable coin is it is hoping to mimic like
The actual U.S. dollar?
yeah, so there is one that follows the US dollar, and it's called UST, I think.
Okay.
It's like US Tether or something like that. So there's so it's Terra USD or UST. And basically they use the basic economics of supply and demand to keep the price of Terra USD at $1, at $1 US dollar.
Okay.
Well, that basic supply and demand chain didn't withstand this whole macroeconomic crash.
Yeah.
And so Terra USD crashed, meaning basically all of the crypto is not worth as much as we thought it was.
It's not backed by anything.
Right, and that's the other thing is it's not backed by something that is worth a decent amount of money because this was tethering the dollar, and they were trying to keep it at $1. And what happened is that the value of the dollar started tanking and tanking and tanking, but the supply or the demand of Tether was not enough. So it just crashed.
Dang.
And that in turn had a ripple effect on pretty much the entire cryptocurrency markets. So now I think Bitcoin's at like 20 grand, which it was at 60 to begin this year.
That's crazy.
They said
And Ethereum dropped into triple digits, I thought.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I think I had like $1,000 worth of Ethereum, and it's like $400 now or $300.
Wow.
So it's less than half the value. So they're saying that right after the Super Bowl was when crypto was like hyped up a ton because there was a bunch of commercials for crypto.
Sure.
Saying the word crypto isn't technically correct. You should be saying cryptocurrency, I guess, according to these articles that I have.
Okay.
Right.
Does that kind of put it in like a negative?
It's just not a full description of what it is.
It's cryptocurrency.
It's cryptocurrency because it's a currency, right? I don't know. They're being stupid. I don't really care. I'm going to call it crypto.
Else think
when I refer to it, I call it crypto.
Yeah. I mean, if I say, hey, Phil, what's crypto going? Are you confused?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to continue to call it that.
Yeah.
Where was I going before we got off on the standard?
You were telling me about how after the Super Bowl.
Oh, so they hyped it up a bunch, right?
Yeah.
And it was about 60,000 for Bitcoin, for one Bitcoin. And since then, it has dropped half of its value at least, and now it's down to 20 grand. So if you bought it right during that time, you were just like sunk, basically. Especially if you put a lot of money into it. I mean, some people they'll put like 10 grand in it. They'll put their life savings in it. That was happening actually.
Just like the stock market, you buy low, sell high.
Yeah, exactly. That's the object.
Bought when it was hyped up.
They bought high.
They were like, I'm getting this because look at where it's at. It's going to get
to 100K. Everybody was just hyping it up.
Now they're losing money.
Yeah, it's funny. I watch all these YouTubers and they just follow the trends and they just make a video about the trend that's happening at that time.
Yeah.
And then it never holds up in like 4 to 6 weeks. The video doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's
kind of
horrible. Funny. Yeah, it's really stupid though because they're making so much money off of these views and it's just clickbait. Like all of it's click. I want to unsubscribe because I'm so like it's just none of it makes sense.
Clickbait is like literally one of the worst things.
Almost all of it's wrong. Like at least in like 6 months at least is like all of their videos are incorrect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like none of their predictions are right, which is frustrating. I mean, you got to be right you got to be right sometime, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how they got so rich, but I guess they're only right on what they're putting on YouTube. Like, as in the subject matter that they're picking is correct in the fact that the algorithm wants everybody to see it.
So I was thinking about this, about the people that bought high, so like, say they put $10,000 in when it's at $59,000, goes up to $60,000, and they're like, yeah, okay, I made some money. But then it goes down to 20. Like,
they lose basically 3/4 of their money,
yeah. So now their crypto's worth
or 1/3 of their money, I guess, or 2/3 of their money.
$3,500.
We're doing risky math here. I don't like it. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
In
if
general.
they bought 10 grand and now it's down to 20, they're down to 3,000.
Yeah.
333.
Yeah.
It's
So
rough. Which
that's why I said 3,500. I was being optimistic.
what's crazy is the war in Ukraine was happening right at like the end of March, right? It was
Yeah.
or was it the end of April? I can't remember. Anyways,
Earlier this year.
because Russia's currency was fluctuating so much and was diving just as bad as the rest
Sure.
of the friggin' world's economies, but even worse because everybody was pissed at Russia, and it
Yeah.
still is. People were putting their Russian currency into crypto their entire life savings. They were just shoving it into crypto, whatever crypto was they thought was going to be the most stable through the downturn. Well, little did they know that
Oh, no.
UST, Terra USD, or whatever the heck this crypto is called, was going to crash, and then they're going to lose 2/3 of their money, their hard-earned life savings.
Yeah, worse off than they were before.
On top of that, their country's being invaded by Russia, or Russia is invading another country, and you're not cool with it.
Yeah. I feel like bad for them. I feel bad for a lot of the Russian people.
I do too, because most of them are just watching state media, and they're actually for the war.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are.
Mm.
Joe Rogan just did a podcast with, I don't remember what his name was, but he was riding a bike through Siberia. He just rides, he does like these like
Sure.
year-long
One of them
treks
guys.
on a bike, and he's a journalist basically. Well, I guess not a journalist. He's a tourism, I don't know what you'd call it. He's a tourist, but he does blogs about it.
Okay.
I don't know if you can't call it journalism because that's what they got him for in jail, which it wasn't journalism, it was tourism. So that was his visa. He had a tourism visa, not a journalism visa.
Oh, okay.
And he was recording his trip.
And recording
And-
yourself is not really journalism. You're not giving news.
Right. But he was having conversations with people as he went about the war, trying to figure out how they felt about it, and they classified that as journalism. And so they kind of got him.
It's kind of a thin line to walk, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. And he knew he was walking a thin line in what he was doing, but he was mostly there for tourism, and that was what he was doing. And he was conducting regular interviews too of like how people live and what they do on a daily basis and why they're there and all that kind of stuff.
And they're
But
all like,
they
take
tossed
down
him in
Ukraine.
jail, and he was in jail up until like 2 weeks ago, I think. Oh, look at me, I'm frozen. Anyways, so yeah, it's pretty crazy that most of the people he interviewed were like for the war. They were like basically just
funny.
repeating the state propaganda.
what the heck?
Yeah, it's wild.
It's like those
Imagine
stories
living-
about that are true, and you don't want them to be true. You don't think maybe they're exaggerated. Like, there's no way they believe him. There's no way they think this is a good idea. But it's like, I hate to compare it to this, but just for the sake of people believing what they're hearing, it's like Germany during Nazi time.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Very eccentric Hitler, telling you got to do these things. This
And
is
there's
the
no
best
access
thing
to any
do.
other media either.
Yeah.
And Russia's doing that too. They're blocking
Seems
any
like
other.
the best idea at
Yeah.
the time. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's
And then everyone else outside can see the whole picture, and you're like,
it's
What are you
insane
doing?
how
Yeah.
different their lives must be to ours,
yeah.
because we're over here living free. Well, semi-free.
What's happening to us that we don't see the big picture?
Oh, I mean, I see a pretty big picture, and it's not looking good.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of have a negative outlook on the U.S. in the next 20 years, but
That's all right, Phil. I think that there's a pretty big crowd of that.
yep. I grew up with a pretty negative generation, I guess, generational outlook, I guess, on the U.S.
Yeah, and I'm the opposite. I'm very patriotic.
Heck
very
yeah.
family.
Well,
too.
yeah. You're in a military family, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'd be patriotic too.
Yeah, it's weird. We were talking about this, I can't remember when. Memorial Day probably was the most recent, besides 4th of July, which is in like when this comes out, 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days from now.
3 days before 4th of July is when this comes out.
Yeah, so 4th of July is 3 days from now.
No. Well,
Unless you're watching this in 2023.
now I'm scared because now we're doing some like Inception type stuff because it's technically 6 days from now. My brain just exploded.
It's sometime soon.
Anyways, 4th of July is coming up, people.
Yeah, so around
Better
Memorial
get you
Day, we
red,
were
white, and
talking
blue.
about this, and like, I have patriotism like ingrained into me, like probably even more than any of my Christianity. Like this patriotism has been like, there's really not. I mean, the right word is indoctrinated, but it's such a negative word to use.
Well, I feel like it's gained a negative connotation, but I don't know if it ever. I don't think it was intentionally meant to be negative.
No, I mean all of this. I'd say at least 90% of my patriotism experience has been positive. But I mean, it's so much so that like I can get teary-eyed and like it's sometimes I'm like, what am I thinking? What am I doing? But like I'm I do love our country, and I feel so privileged and happy that I live here.
Don't get me wrong. I don't not feel that way. I feel very privileged and lucky to be in the United States and live here as my like main place that I live.
I agree.
Because there are a lot of people that have a lot less than we do.
For sure.
I mean, shoot, dang, son. We're sitting here
even more
podcasting in
blessed.
a garage, and we're like complaining about 85 degrees. It's probably 90 degrees in some people's like little mud huts.
Right.
Certain
True.
places of the world.
But that's the real blessing that I feel is that we live here in Montana.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
last best place, baby.
don't
come here.
The United States is big, and there's a lot of terrible places to live in the United States.
That's true too.
Where the United States is, your country doesn't feel great, and it isn't great 99% of the time. But
sorry, Los Angeles.
yeah, I mean, there's plenty of places, but that's where I really feel blessed. Like, yeah, it's great to live in the United States, but it's even more so great that we live here in Montana. I would never give that up. I love it.
The living's easy.
Yeah, it's good. I'm more patriotic about Montana as of late than I am the United States as a whole.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I feel like I would definitely fly the Montana flag more than I would fly the American flag.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some patriotism, and then coming up, I mean, we got 4th of July. This is like it's a big celebration of our independence.
Founding of our independent country.
Independence from
Britain.
the stupid British.
Wasn't it Britain? It was Britain. I don't know.
I mean,
The people who talk funny and wear red coats.
yeah, which is like the weirdest thing ever because
And they say
I've
you're
never,
not speaking English.
I've never met one before.
A British person?
No, an angry British person wearing a red coat.
Oh, me neither.
So it's like
I want to
Yeah.
meet a British person.
I'm glad that we celebrate our independence because it does mean something for our nation's history.
Yes, absolutely. I agree.
But people do. I'd say most people the entire day don't even think about it. They're like 4th of July, camping, hot dogs, hamburgers, fireworks.
Talking about inflation, I just saw a news headline that said the 4th of July cookout has increased in price by 17%.
Ooh,
17%.
that's ridiculous.
4th of
It's
July
supposed to
cookout.
be cheap. That's
It's
the whole
supposed to,
thing.
yeah, hamburgers and hot dogs are supposed to be cheap,
Yeah.
but they
Everyone
ain't.
pitches in a little and you have a barbecue.
Now everyone pitches in a lot and you barely got a
That's
little baby
stupid.
meal.
Fireworks in general got to be expensive. Like, I mean,
Oh, I haven't
I
been
buy
to a
some like
stand
small versions.
I didn't think about that.
I don't buy like big amounts of
I
fireworks.
love
but
fireworks.
Some people do.
I buy a lot of fireworks. I buy usually $300 worth of fireworks every year. And
well, get ready to spend $500.
more like 900. I'm just kidding. I would never spend that much money on fireworks. Okay, maybe I would. Maybe I would.
If it had the same increase as a Tesla, what would it be?
Same increase as a Tesla, so 10 grand on 35 grand, so 45 grand. So let's just, for sake of argument, say it was 30%. Is that right? It's
Yeah.
more like 25% or something like that. So if I spent
You're gonna be spending $500.
approximately,
Yeah.
I hope not. Maybe
don't-
I'll just get some firecrackers and scare the crap out of
Phil,
my
I
wife.
do not want you to spend $500 on fireworks.
I won't do
But
that.
if you do, I'm coming over.
Well, I'm going to Kalispell, so you're gonna have to come all the way up to Kalispell.
Challenge accepted.
All right then.
Although I'm gonna have to ride a bike because gas is so dang expensive, and I drive a Jeep.
So that is something I am going to be spending money on. So maybe I won't be buying fireworks because gas is probably going to cost me I was doing some calculations earlier today, and it's probably going to be around $300.
Okay, are you taking your truck?
Yes.
Have you driven to Kalispell in your truck since you've had it?
Yes.
How much money did it cost you? Do you remember?
Probably like $150.
Okay, so I want to report when you come back.
All right. It's probably going to be double that. It's probably going to be 300 to.
That's insane.
My estimation, exactly on the dot, is going to be $348.16. This is a totally uneducated guess, but
$348.
$348.16.
Okay. Well, I don't know where you guys are, but gas in Montana right now is for the
70 around.
for the unleaded.
The low grade.
478.
Low grade. It's 78 now?
478,
Where was this at? I go to Costco, so I just know
was
Costco
Town Pump.
prices.
which is Conoco.
I think it's about 10 cents more expensive anywhere else than Costco, so that would make sense. Because the last time I filled up, which was like Friday or something like that,
Yeah.
I think it was for, wait.
It might actually be
Did I say
489.
Oh, yeah. I think it was 470.
Believe it or not, I think I filled up.
490?
I think it's 489.9. That's what it was yesterday when I got gas.
I mean, basic economics, gas should be more expensive in the summer, at least here in Montana, because more people are driving, more people are going to do things and get out into the woods. But
ebb and flow like that anyway.
But we haven't seen prices like that for a while.
No.
Like 2008, maybe.
So I got a theory.
Mm.
And it's just because I've heard this theory, not
Okay.
because it's really mine.
All right.
But I've heard theories that, one, companies like we were talking about earlier that are producing electric cars are influencing the gas prices to make people want to buy an electric vehicle more. Do you think that's at all possible?
I think that is a finger of the plan. There may be 5 fingers of the plan, but that is at least one finger of it.
Yeah, because the government's involved in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is literally a government plan. I mean, our president said this is going to happen.
Well, and Biden's trying to get rid of the gas tax, the federal gas tax, at least for 3 months, I think, which is like 18 cents per gallon is what is added to the gas price, the base gas price for federal taxes. And then you also have your state taxes and your road taxes usually are in your gas in most states. But here in Montana, we have our state road tax and maintenance taxes and all that kind of stuff in our registration. So Washington's different where like to register a car in Washington, it's super cheap. Like my newer Volkswagen e-Golf was only like, I think it was only like $180, whereas my truck recently was like $400 to register.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So the other theory that I overheard somebody talking about was that they're just jacking up gas prices because they're gonna make the prices go back down, but it's still gonna be way higher than it was before, and it's gonna basically look like we're getting a discount.
It's gonna feel like you're getting a discount, but really you're paying almost $1 per gallon more than you were
just even a year
prior. Yeah, and that's pretty common.
Yeah, that's basic business.
Yeah, it's pretty common to do that kind of thing. Like you raise your prices astronomically, and people will still pay it because they like your product or whatever.
Or they have to use it.
And then you just reduce your price by maybe like 10% or something like that, and then you're still making 20% more than you were making before.
Yeah, it's definitely a business plan.
But also you got to take into account inflation too. I mean, we're at 8%, so I mean gas price should be higher right now, anyways.
Sure. Yeah, if it's following what inflation is with everything else.
Yeah. Which sucks.
It does. It
because
sucks.
You don't get a 8% raise every year, that's for sure.
You know, thinking back at it, the first thing that we saw get inflated was wood prices. You remember that?
Wood prices shot up, and then obviously housing prices followed because once the price of the wood hits the quotes of the home builders and everything, things start to
and that was like
escalate.
Right during a really crazy time for Montana because
everybody was moving here.
Everyone was moving here. I mean, we had literally an inflation on property and almost like a resort inflation.
Yeah.
Because you
had compounding inflation because of the price of land itself grew by like, I think it was 10% or something like that. And then you had the price of like the lumber and the building costs inflated almost. I mean, it had to have been like
Double.
it. I think it was like almost 100% increase.
Yeah.
Like well, no, I guess no, it was double. You're right. It was.
That's 100% increase.
Well, it's 200%, right? Double. I don't know how percentages work. I do, but I don't. Not off the top of my head.
Well, 200% of something is double. You're
yeah, so 200%.
But a 100% increase is also
Is the cost of, yeah, I guess it is double, isn't it? Anyways, I think it was like $35 for a sheet of what is
then
it?
it was like 78.
yeah,
I saw
yeah.
somebody
A sheet
post.
of plywood was like $30, and now it's like 70 or 80 or something like that. It's coming back down though. I think they're back down to like 65 or something like that for OSB.
I need to buy one because I want to build a subwoofer box.
Well, you don't need OSB for that. You need MDF.
No, yeah, right. Yeah, MDF.
MDF has gone up because it used to be $40 a sheet. Now it's $60.
That's what I need
What are
to
you
buy
building a subwoofer box for?
for the CRV.
All right, then.
I did.
Let's do it.
Yeah, Elias says he wants some subs.
We'll
So-
teach the boy how to make some subwoofer boxes.
Yeah.
Got to do
I was
some
like,
calculations.
don't even. I was like, you can look for speakers and amps, but don't you dare buy a box. We're gonna build it.
Yeah, heck yeah, brother. Make it custom.
We can build a better box than you can buy.
406 custom.
Just how it is.
Just the way it be.
So way it be.
What else did we want to talk about? Oh, last thing we got to talk about that happened in Montana. Since we're talking about Montana.
Oh yeah,
and how
yeah,
much we
for
love
sure.
Montana.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. We had some serious flooding. Like, what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
Sarah and I went up to go camping
Mid-June.
off of Rock Creek up in Red Lodge, Montucky. And the road was starting to get washed out
What
when
a
we went back
crazy
up.
weekend to choose.
I mean, we literally chose that weekend because it's the first weekend that was like semi-decent weather up there.
Yeah.
And we had just gotten everything we needed for Emery to go with us. And we were going to take Emery on our first camping trip.
Yay.
And we got rained out. And the bridge that we crossed to get to our tent washed away. Like it's no longer there.
Yeah.
So if we would have stayed up there, I think it washed away like 2 days after we were there. If we would have stayed up there for the night, the main road was getting washed out anyways.
Yeah.
That probably would have been washed out, but the bridge still would have been there. But it would have been a rough go of getting out of there. Because when we came back down when we were leaving, there was like 4 or 5 sheriffs there and like 2 or 3 Forest Service trucks.
Like
They were going to evacuate it. They were going to
telling
evacuate
everybody to get
everybody.
out.
Yep. It was pretty wild. And then Main Street Red Lodge just happened to be a creek, well, more like a river.
yeah, it like looked like the river because like all the mud and the river rock.
It
came
moved.
up.
It moved so much river rock. Like the entire length of Red Lodge Main Street had like a foot of river rock on it.
It looked like the bed of the
Yeah.
Rock
It
Creek.
essentially became the bed of Rock
I mean,
Creek.
It is Rock Creek.
Yeah.
After all.
Yeah, that's true.
But
It's crazy how many bridges we lost too. I think we lost like in total like 10 plus bridges. So there's so many roads that are closed
Yeah.
that you can't access certain wilderness areas anymore.
That's expensive to rebuild.
Yeah, I think they said total cost was going to be, was it 30 million or 30 billion? It had to have been 30. There's no way it's only $30 million. You're
Yeah.
talking 10 bridges? A bridge alone costs,
Sure.
at least for engineering costs, it's got to be at least $1 million.
It ruined irrigation. It ruined lots of things.
Yeah.
Lots of things.
Yeah. There were a few places and buildings that flooded, like Oscars. It's called Oscars?
Norm's Island.
Well, Norm's Island flooded, but then that wedding venue where
Oh, okay.
most everybody gets friggin' married.
Yeah.
It's like Oscar's theme park or something like that. I don't remember exactly what it's called.
Pretty close to the river.
Yeah, I guess it flooded. They had like a foot or 2 of water throughout their whole entire property, which is pretty crazy.
There's a lot of things that happen. You know that the most upsetting thing to me, because I didn't experience a lot of this personally, right? I mean, and I don't know a lot of people that really had any tragic things that happened, but there was a lot of that for sure. But the thing that upset me personally is that the national coverage that we got for this, everybody was talking about Yellowstone Park.
Yep.
Like Yellowstone Park is flooded, and it's like, okay.
Well, a lot of the very
some crazy
extensive
stuff.
damage did happen in Gardner and Paradise Valley, and a lot of the roads just inside the park
But
were
do they say that?
completely eroded away.
Do they say that? No, they don't talk about the towns. They don't talk about the people who lost houses.
That's true.
They're
CNN
like,
did not mention any of the small
no, they
towns.
say Yellowstone Park,
Yep.
like our national
Yeah.
forest or national.
It was the
park
first
is
national
bad.
park, Nate.
Yeah, so it's about the.
I'm pretty
lamest
sure it was
national
the
park.
first one in the world, actually.
Actually, I say that's some lame national park, but it's pretty cool. Actually,
It is pretty cool. A lot
I
of people,
can't
a lot
wait.
of people from out of state think it's kind of dumb because there's like it's like super. It seems underwhelming, I guess.
you got to go the right time of year, and you got to go see the right things.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think I've seen the right things yet. I live right next to Yellowstone National Park. I've only been through it once.
Yeah,
I've
there's some.
snowmobiled in Cook City, which is like just outside, and you have to drive through the national park to get to Cook City. But
This is what
that's
you
about-
don't do.
about
You
it.
don't go to Yellowstone Park to see mountains. There is mountains, but you can see those anywhere.
go to Glacier National Park.
Go to
for that.
Glacier to see mountains.
Yes.
Okay, because
Those mountains are wild.
go to Yellowstone first and be like, wow, this is cool. Go to Glacier and you'd be like,
This is even cooler.
Yellowstone sucks.
You can't even get into Glacier without a reservation now.
Yeah.
That's how cool it is.
Yeah, it is cool. I mean,
Which is kind of a bummer.
what you do in Yellowstone is go see the hot springs, like the bubbling,
The
weird,
hot pots.
the hot pots. Yeah, Old Faithful sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very underwhelming. Like you hear about it as a kid, you're like, "Oh, yeah, it's this cool geyser.
And
It
these
shoots like
pictures are
300
like,
feet in the air."
whoa.
Oh. And it's like,
It's like Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
You're like a million miles away from
yeah,
it.
they don't let you anywhere near
It's
it.
so stupid.
And if you do, you are arrested for sure.
Another thing you shouldn't do is feed animals or get out of
Or
your car.
be within 100 feet of a bison.
Man, people are dumb. People are dumb. Even the last 5 years, it's like it makes the news every summer. Somebody's like, "Look, a bear! Let's get out and pet it," or "Let's take
How come
selfies
they-
with a moose."
How
or
come they
something.
don't feed the animals at certain times of the day so you're guaranteed to see them?
Yeah, what?
Okay, go back to California, please.
Yeah, this is a what? Like that just makes no
Yeah,
sense.
it doesn't make any sense.
My favorite,
So
like
go back to
animal-
Southern California. Sorry,
Yeah.
NorCal people know what's up.
Oh yeah, the red. I still need to go see the redwood forest. By the way,
I've spent a ton of time in California. I don't think I've even seen it.
let's do it together.
All right.
I want to go drive through a tree.
Yep. Me too. I don't think my truck would fit through their little tree though. I think that tree actually got cut down or
Yeah,
something.
I don't think they let you drive through.
I don't think it exists anymore. I think it actually like fell down.
Oh really? Because there's a
Maybe I'm
giant
wrong.
hole in the bottom of it.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that might have happened.
Well,
I'm just spewing lies over here. Speculation.
I know if my mom or dad watches this, they're gonna be like, "You've been to the national. You've been to the redwood."
Yeah, when you
forest."
were a kid
I was seriously. I don't remember.
40 years ago.
Yeah, I want to see it now.
Just kidding, you're not 40
Dude,
yet.
did you know that I've been to the Grand Canyon, but I've never seen it? Did I tell you this yet?
I think you have. Maybe, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it was just foggy. So like, I mean, seriously, we get to the
Oh,
point
that
to where like
sucks.
the coolest lookout where you can
Yeah.
see like a mile down in there. Literally, the fog was right to the edge. I saw nothing.
I've only been there when I was a kid, and it was also, I mean, it was cool to see, but it was a little bit underwhelming as well. I wish we would have been able to, like, I wish I would have been able to go to the bottom of it,
Yeah,
because I feel like you appreciate the vastness of it a lot more when you're at the bottom.
yeah, and I think it looks too much. You know, even from pictures, it might look too much like your perspective is like you can't like your brain doesn't understand how far really away things really are. Or
Have you
like
ever-
when they say like that's a mile and a half down, you're like, that seems like far, but it doesn't really look that.
I mean, it may be a mile. It don't look like a mile. I mean, maybe. But have you seen it from a plane?
yeah, I've seen it.
It's
from a
pretty
plane.
cool to see from a plane. I mean, you definitely get the gist of how big it actually is from the plane's perspective, because it's so long. Like, it's like
Yeah.
when you go to the Grand Canyon, you're looking crosswise into it most of the time. You're not looking down it, because I mean, it obviously curves a ton. You can't like see from one end to the other, right? But so you don't get to appreciate how long that canyon actually is, and it's gigantic.
It's so big. Yeah.
It's insane.
Back when, you know, Paul Bunyan cut it with his axe, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Did he like change to a pickaxe for that? Like, or
I
did
think
he
he
have
just
an axe? Or like,
Was walking and he drug it
he
behind
just
him.
drug it on the
Yeah.
ground and it just made this big huge canyon.
Yeah.
Well, where are his footsteps? Is that the craters that they say the UFOs are in out there in the desert?
I just want to know where Paul Bunyan is.
Isn't there a bunch of like alien crap out there by the Grand Canyon?
Yeah,
Isn't that close to where like Area 51 is and stuff?
for sure, because the Grand Canyon kind of ends right by north of Vegas.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's like a
I just remember as a kid seeing like all the UFO signs and all that kind of stuff when we
Well,
were
you
driving down
know.
the road.
there's like that big lake that is right by the Hoover Dam. I know the name of the lake. I'm just not.
I couldn't tell you.
I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue, but that's at the
Let
end
me
of the
look
Grand
at it.
Canyon.
I know. I just can't read it.
Okay. But that's right at the end of the Grand Canyon, and they say that there's a bunch of hidden stuff in that lake or behind Hoover Dam. So could be
Must be.
the Transformers are in there. We know that.
Yes. Autobots roll out.
Yeah. I mean, where else are you going to keep Transformers if you want to keep secrets?
Exactly.
So I don't know.
All right, then. Did we cover everything? I think we did.
I think we did. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to talk about, but at the same time, like,
Save it for the next one.
yeah,
I feel like
I just like sitting here talking.
in a month there's like so many things that happen that we have to talk about that we never end up getting everything in that we want to talk about that we should talk about.
Look at them thighs.
Yep.
Get some.
ASMR up in this business.
I want to show off as much thigh as you're showing off.
I don't know if that's possible. I got too much thigh to go around.
I saw the camera darken because like more light came in. The aperture
It was
was
compensating.
Like,
It was like, oh, those legs are so bright.
I'll tone it down.
For those of you
slightly.
just listening, Nate is slowly pulling back his short legs.
Yeah,
pant
to
leg,
show more
short
man
pant
thighs.
leg things to show his pasty white thighs.
They are. They're pretty white.
They're like
I'm
some
really white. I'm just a
chicken
white
cutlets. I'm just a white
guy.
guy.
I'm kind of a white guy.
I'm just white.
Yeah.
We're just two white guys talking.
Dude, my parents did Ancestry.com. I'm like, everything in there is white.
100% European.
Yeah, like way more English than I thought I was.
Nice.
There's some like.
So you could
who
have had a
doesn't
red
have
coat.
Cherokee Indian.
So you could have had a red coat in your last life. I actually do have Cherokee in me too.
Yeah.
It's actually a decent amount. I think I have like an eighth of Cherokee in me, which is pretty significant. I think at a quarter you get if you have like if you're part of the tribe,
Yeah.
like if you have documentation that says that you've been accepted into the tribe or are I don't exactly know how that stuff works, but I think you can get a scholarship for it.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough Cherokee in me for that. But
No, not for me either. I checked when I was in college. That's why I have all these loans.
here's a fun fact: since 4th of July is in 3 days or 6 days or whatever, however many days from right now. In light of it being 4th of July and the patriotism that's in my family, I'm so patriotic that I have a great grandmother named America.
How many greats was that?
I don't know. I made it up, but the fact is real.
You
I
made
just
it.
don't know
I was
how
gonna
many
say you
greats.
made up the America part. How dare you?
No. Her name really is America, or was.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, America was her first name.
I'm
Like,
gonna
what the
name my
heck?
next child America.
Yeah.
Sarah, you heard it here first. You actually
I'm
probably
gonna
won't
hold him
hear it.
to it, Sarah.
You're gonna hold me to the name America.
Yeah, I'm gonna call up Sarah. I'm gonna spam her phone with just the phrase "America will live," and then she
With
won't-
American flag emojis.
Yeah,
after
she
it.
won't know what I'm talking about,
No.
but you'll know.
Oh yeah, and I'll just chuckle, and she'll be like, "What? What?"
Yeah, Nate said
Nate just keeps sending me this phrase,
he has this great grandmother named America,
and he
so
says a different amount of greats every single time.
we have to name our kid after her.
Yep, America the Great. Lowther.
That'd be awesome.
It's like Jake's wife's name, Heriberta Guadalupe Ochoa Lowther. It used to be Angela's.
Yeah.
It's just like so it's such an American name on a Spanish name.
Sure. That's awesome.
But this would be an American name on an American name. Actually, I don't even know the origins of my last name, but I don't know much about my family tree. Talking about family trees
Oh,
because both my parents are adopted, and they were closed
for sure?
adoptions back
for
then.
reals.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So yeah, both my parents were adopted. I have no idea what my actual real blood lineage is.
Interesting. I mean, you could do Ancestry.com and find out like
My little brother did
what your
that.
blood type is, so you know like what your origin, what kind of, similar blood types come from this area.
Yeah, so Nick did the 23andMe or whatever, and like you,
Yeah.
mostly European, a little bit
Sure.
of Cherokee, but we can't really look up our ancestry because everything was closed, and they don't have names registered to those kind of things. Like unless the person,
Willingly did it or
yeah,
something?
and they look at our last name and it doesn't match the other person's last name, and so they don't look into it any
It'd be
further.
pretty impossible.
Yeah.
Yep.
My mom's, I think, tried to reach out to her birth parents, but I think they just weren't interested or something.
I bet if one of them did like an ancestry thing and sent their blood in for it, there's probably some sort of super close DNA match where it would be almost like you either are the grandparent or this is the weirdest thing ever. Because your DNA is like,
Exact.
when he was in his 20s, he looked exactly like you.
I mean, Emery as a freaking 1-year-old looks exactly like me.
Yeah.
So there's got to
Yes.
be somebody out there.
I know. I wished
What-
upon a star that my kids would not look like me, but they do.
Do you ever think about
Just
the
kidding.
fact that like there's somebody else in the world that looks almost exactly like you?
Yeah, that's weird. That's kind of weirded me out. I see those every once in a while. Like,
YouTube allows you to kind of find these people like offhand. Like, Bourbon Moth Woodworking looks exactly like Brett.
Yeah.
and Kale. Like just a mix of those two together.
Yes.
And their personalities too.
Yeah, a mix of their personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is their third brother.
Yeah, I swear.
Does Brett have any other brothers besides Kale that I'm
Not-
missing
not
that I'm
any
just
full
being ignorant
brothers.
about? Okay.
He's got some half brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I feel like there's somebody out there that looks exactly like me, and I just want to meet him.
Well, I mean,
And what if they have the same name?
there's like the meme of like the Chinese Elon Musk. Have you seen that?
Yes, he looks, but he's had so much surgery. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like mostly
Is he
plastic surgery.
trying to look like Elon
Yes,
Musk?
yeah.
Okay. Well, then that's different.
It's literally a meme.
But there's like old.
He's the meme lord of the meme lord.
Okay. Yeah. Well, never mind then on
Yeah.
that one. But there's like those old pictures of like the World War or Civil War general that looks just like Jack Black.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Or no, Jack Black looks like. Well, my mom could tell me it's like another famous guy.
There's got to be so many
President
instances of
somebody.
stuff like that.
Yeah, and like you're like that's Jack Black. If you showed
if you
somebody
just-
a picture, it'd be like, oh, it's Jack Black.
If you just put different clothes on them, they would look exactly like Jack Black.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
more
it's-
modern
it's
type clothes.
not. This guy
Yeah.
was alive in the 1700s.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That stuff just blows my mind.
Well, I mean, with 9 billion people, I mean, there's
And all of the generations that I've come before,
yeah,
there's got to be somebody out there that looked exactly like me.
we're pretty dang close.
My daughter's going to be one of those people.
Yeah.
The female version.
Sure. You could change that. It's 2022.
True.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't change her gender. She could change her gender.
No, you
if
could
she
change
wanted to.
yours. The match.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
Make your own choice.
yeah. I think I'm a little bit past that point in my life. I don't think I could get there. Well, I guess Caitlyn Jenner was like, what? I don't even know how old.
That's just declaring you're a different person, though.
Yeah, at that point.
Yeah.
Let's not get into this.
No, it is June, but
We try to like dip our toes a little bit, just like kind of get some people a little bit riled, and then we're just gonna back up,
yeah,
that's
okay.
back up, back pedal.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing anyway. So like I another one of those things where I'm super ignorant about
Me too.
that if I talked about it,
I would just sound ignorant, and
no
people
matter
would get
what
mad.
my view was, I would easily offend somebody because I literally know nothing about it.
Yep, me
So,
too.
I'll just be like, yo, I don't know anything. I'm not going to talk about it.
That's why we're just backpedaling
I'm
right
going to
out
watch
of
a video of somebody that does.
it, and we're gonna backpedal right out of this. I'll tell you that right now, because we're at about an hour 20,
Okay.
and I think we need to wrap this baby up.
I agree. Let's do it until next time.
Mostly just because I have a pool forming
My back is sweaty.
under my beehole. I bet all of our listeners wanted to know that.
Well, there's probably some sort of like concentration practice that you can do to like reduce the amount of sweat.
I don't know if I could have a conversation and do that at the same time.
Yep.
My brain might explode.
Well, now that you're thinking about sweaty beeholes,
Yep.
it's time to go.
Trying to slide right out of here.
See you later. We're out.
Peace out.
I'm out.
I'm out.
We've got it.